Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the webinar on all about limited insolvency examination by transition. Today, as guest speaker, we have Mr. Ashish Makhija, who has joined us from the United States. Welcome, sir. As you may be aware, friends, Transition is at the forefront for providing online training programs for insolvency professionals and others. It also provides online classes for aspirants of limited insolvency examination. You would also be aware that Transition is the first and the only company to offer online practice exams with a chance to review answers for limited insolvency examination and valuation examination. This has helped many in shaping their careers. Transition is also an ACE publisher with many publications, out of which analysis of cases for limited insolvency examination by Mr. Ashish Makhija has become the bestseller. Before I introduce our guest speaker for today, let me inform you all with some rules that have to be followed by us during this webinar. First, during the webinar, please keep your microphones muted to have a better experience. Second, participants are requested to ask the questions through chat box. Third, it is recommended that the participants attend the webinar from a quiet environment. Fourth, it is also advised that the participants may use headphones or earphones for the webinar for better audibility. Fifth, it is advisable to close all other applications while attending the webinar. Sixth, in case anyone gets disconnected in between, they can click on the link and join again. I now introduce our faculty, Mr. Ashish Makhija. Mr. Ashish Makhija bears top credentials in the subject of insolvency and bankruptcy law and corporate law, amongst others. He has served as the standing counsel for the official liquidator attached to High Court of Delhi. He is also an insolvency professional. He is the best faculty for limited insolvency examination, and people from all across India have attended his seminars, which has helped them immensely. He is a leading practitioner in the field of insolvency, corporate laws, and commercial litigation. He is a World Bank Trade Corporate Trainer. He has spoken extensively on the subject of insolvency, bankruptcy, and corporate law, and has trained a large number of aspirants through Transition's online classes. He has authored 14 books on the subject of insolvency law and corporate law. He has also authored IBC Case Digest, published by Bloomsbury, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code of India, published by LexisNexis, which is a comprehensive section-wise commentary on IBC, amongst others. Before we begin, I must share with you some wonderful and exciting news, which we are really proud of. In just last 2 months, over 80 of our participants have passed limited insolvency examination with the highest score of 80.5 and others scoring 70s and highs of 60s. With this, I would request Mr. Ashish Makhija to take us through the webinar and kindly guide the participants.
Okay, thank you, Prakhar, and very good evening to all the participants. I think it is always a delight to share experiences with the professionals, with the fellow professionals. Well, the top question in our mind is, should I become an insolvency professional? Is it the best time? Now, that is also one of the questions. And then some people do always think that, look, I have been in practice as a chartered accountant, as a cost accountant, as a company secretary, I'm well settled. Why should I take up, another career now as an insolvency professional? Well, my dear friends, I may only say that you may be doing pretty good in your own profession, like a chartered accountant or a cost accountant, even an advocate or a company secretary, or even as in employment also, you may be doing pretty well. But one thing which is important is that as far as gaining the knowledge is concerned, there is never a harm. Education or upgrading our knowledge never does a harm. And what better it is that if you have the designation of or a kind of a professional degree like writing insolvency professional in your business card. Well, it gives you a lot of confidence. And that is why I'm going to take up, all these aspects while I'm showing you a presentation. Many of your questions will be answered during the presentation. If they are not, then there will be definitely a question answer session, which Prakhar will be moderating. And there you can ask the questions in the chat box by putting it in the chat box, or if you want, we can unmute you also. I can see a few of my friends who have attended SureShot IP, limited insolvency classes or modules which were there, which are being conducted by Transition. I can see Mr. Varun Agarwal, Mr. Mahavir Singh is also there. So I think they will also share their experiences about the transitions courses also. Anyhow, that of course we will do it in a little while. These are the three questions: why, what, and how. why I should do insolvency, what is that program, and how I can pass. If I decide that I want to pass or become an insolvency professional, now these are the three top questions in the mind of every professional. Let us try to answer all these things. First of all, let us try to understand now what is the role an IP plays or insolvency professional plays in the whole scheme. Well, I would say in single words, if I have to explain, he plays a very, very crucial role. And it is definitely a position of responsibility. When a person becomes an insolvency professional and the company also comes into CIRP process, which is known as corporate insolvency resolution process, then the IRP or the RP, who is the insolvency professional, well, it is his position of responsibility. He actually becomes the board of directors, he becomes the CEO or the managing director. There has to, because he is running the company on behalf of the stakeholders, or there is a public interest which is involved, well, it is a position of trust. And definitely managing corporates in financial distress. That's actually running a company when it is growing. It is, according to me, it is much easier. But when the company is in financial distress, well, it requires maybe double or three times the effort of the normal circumstances. The IP actually helps them recover. So this is one of the important aspects which one needs to consider. Well, don't you want to participate in the development of the assets of the country, or because these are not the company assets, they actually are the economic assets. So saving key economic assets is one of the important roles which an IP is playing. The question is, should I become an insolvency professional? Now that's a big question. Well, friends, let us first of all understand that what is this thing, and I've got some reasons. So reason number one is that IBC, whether you are a chartered accountant or any kind of a professional, whether a banker or a corporate advisor or advocate, well, you are not untouched by this IBC, which is a new code. If you are, a statutory auditor. Now, in statutory audit, you will face certain times when the company comes into CRP process. IBC comes into picture. Somebody is appointed as an IRP or the RP, and he asks a lot of information from the statutory auditor that please supply this information because I need that. So are you remaining untouched by IBC? The answer is no. So in any case, the knowledge of IBC is very important. And what is the better way that once you are reading IBC, well, if you have gone through it, why not become an IP also? So that is also one of the important aspects. The knowledge of IBC is very, very important. Well, reason number two, as I always mentioned, and I also always say, like, I'm also always a student of law. Well, the knowledge is never wasted. So 2 plus 2, as we always very jokingly say, that it becomes 5 number of times, right? Isn't it? So that is a value addition which you will also get here. The 2 plus 2 will not become 4, it will become actually 5, right? So this is one of the important aspects which are there. Reason number 3, we are in times of COVID, where these are unprecedented times. These are not normal times, we all are aware. But don't you think that we have got good enough time at our hand right now? We are, going to office, but we are not spending that much of time in office. We have got a lot of spare time, which we are probably spending on WhatsApps and the Facebooks. Isn't it the best time to keep on studying and updating your knowledge? Well, I always call it as a silver lining in the dark cloud. Of course, those people who are affected by COVID and the people where the tragedies are happening, well, our due sympathies are with them. Our hearts go out to them. But the fact of the matter is, at least we can utilize this time while sitting at home, or at least we have got better time at our hand. So it is one of the things, because these are self-studies kind of situation which is there. Acquiring a new skill is definitely, a hugely satisfying thing, isn't it? And we all know, well, continuing education, our institutes also hold continuous professional education programs, which we have been attending. Left and right, we have been attending. But updation is very important, friends. As I mentioned earlier, that we have sufficient time at our hand, so we must acquire a new skill, and that is going to help you in your profession also. Then the next question which comes to our mind is that what opportunities do I get if I become an insolvency professional? If you ask me, my dear friends, there are ample opportunities. Once a company comes into CIRP process or into a liquidation process, the IPs play an extremely important role. One can be appointed as interim resolution professional or a resolution professional or a liquidator if the company goes into liquidation. And liquidation is something which is huge. Then in case of, and I'm sure you are aware about IBC, it is a consolidation of the insolvency and bankruptcy laws in India, where it is divided into 5 parts, but part number 2 specifically talks about CIRP, which is corporate insolvency resolution process, and liquidation. If CIRP fails, then the company automatically goes into liquidation. Part 3 is also very interesting. It talks about insolvency and bankruptcy of individuals and partnership firms. So it's a single umbrella law now where even the individuals will also be coming. So if an individual's case starts, like we have heard that recently there was an order in case of one of, Mr. Ambani's. So the person is coming into insolvency process. Well, you can be appointed as a resolution professional for his case, or as a bankruptcy trustee, or as an administrator also, because now IPs are also being appointed as administrator by SEBI, those who have passed that examination. So there are ample opportunities, my dear friends. You can act as a consultant to the committee of creditors, to the bankers, to the promoters. Well, imagine a promoter comes to you, he wants to file a resolution plan. He does not know how to prepare a resolution plan. You, with your knowledge, expertise as a chartered accountant or any other professional, plus combined with your knowledge about IBC, you can help that person or promoter to prepare the resolution plan. Forensic audit is one of the important aspects in IBC now. So there are many other things which are there. So alternative career can also be looked at it, because I actually, nowadays we have been hearing that because of the COVID pandemic, many people have been laid off also. Well, you can look at this career. Here you become a master of your own game, and you will be in the thick of the things. There is no doubt about it. And as far as remuneration is concerned, people do ask me, is it remunerative? The answer is yes, my dear friends, it is quite remunerative. But you have to have some patience. I mean, the money is not going to come in just 2 months, 3 months, or 6 months. You have to have some patient game, maybe 6 months, maybe 1 year. Well, definitely things are going to happen. Let me give you a small example of remuneration. If a company of, say, 10 crore comes into liquidation, I'm just giving you a ballpark figure of 10 crores. It's not a very large company. On the first 1 crore of rupees, my dear friends, liquidator fees is 5%. So what is 5% of 1 crore? It is almost around 5 lakh rupees. This is when you realize the assets. Second stage, from 1 crore to 10 crore, that is next 9 crores, the percentage is 3.75%. So what is 3.75% of 9 crores? I think you guys are better. You can calculate, on your calculators. So now if you add up these two fees, it comes to almost around 33 lakh of rupees. So just a 10 crore company, you liquidate the company and sell the assets. The fees which is given to the liquidator as per the chart given in the regulation is 33 lakh rupees. And then once you distribute that money which has come to the coffers of the company, you get almost 50% of this again. That means 33 plus 16, 49 lakhs. Imagine you are doing 3 cases. What will be your fees? And if it becomes a larger company, and a person of the stature of Mr. Anil Ambani, if he comes, you can imagine what kind of assets he is going to have. So therefore, as far as remuneration is concerned, my dear friends, there is no doubt in my mind that it is one of the remunerative, professions than the other professionals also. And the other aspect which is important is, of course, right now people are little wary about it, because section 7, 9, and 10 of IBC have been suspended. That means no new cases are coming. But that is only for a limited period of 6 months right now. So it started, they have been blocked from 25th March to 25th September, and 25th September is not very far. So the moment when that 6 months period is over, well, the government has got powers to increase this period of 6 months to 1 year, which we don't know whether the government is going to do. But then once that period is over, obviously there will be an overflow of cases. And another aspect, right now, part number 3, which deals with individual insolvency, has not been fully notified. It is only notified in part in respect of personal guarantors to corporate debtors, but not in other cases. Imagine if that is notified, well, how many cases are going to come? In fact, in one of the seminars, where one of the IBBI's official was also present. Now, he made a statement that right now we have got around 3,000 IPs. Uh, in fact, now we have 3,200. But then he said that we will be requiring at least 50,000 IPs in next 3-4 years. So imagine if they are thinking about this number, well, there is a shortage of insolvency professionals at this time. And don't be bothered about that. There are 3,200 people. Of course, out of 3,200 people, almost I can easily say 30% are not into that IP practice. So the chances of this is extremely important, that you will be getting good number of assignments also. And the next reason is that the syllabus is almost known to you. Have you not studied Companies Act, limited liability partnerships? Well, there are few allied laws which you might not have studied. Of course, IBC is also new for you, but then it is a matter of strategy. Once you plan it out, maybe attend like training programs, I think that really helps you. In fact, those who have attended short IP programs, as Prakhar also mentioned in the beginning, many of the people have passed, you see, in first attempt itself, and scoring as high as 80%, 76%. You require only 60%, and that will come to that portion also, that what is required. So when we say limited insolvency exam, I would say the syllabus is also limited. Of course, it looks to be vast, you see, on the first look. But right now, my dear friends, the syllabus is limited. Why I'm saying so? This syllabus, what you have to study is up to 1st July 2019. There is a cutoff date. So any amendment in IBC, rules or regulations or allied laws, which has been carried out by the government up to 30th June 2019, only that syllabus is to be studied. That means any amendment after 1st July 2019 is not in your syllabus. You don't have to study about it. Well, if visually I have to explain, my dear friends, and I've been doing it many times, that right now this syllabus is this much. But if you do not pass the exam or this thing, and the syllabus, it will now going to become like this. Imagine part number 3, which is not notified. You have to just study the theoretical part of it. There are no rules, there are no regulations, there are no case laws. But now, since personal guarantors to corporate debtors has been notified, so cases will also start coming. Then the rules and regulations, 4 rules and regulations have already been notified. So it adds to the syllabus. But you don't have to study, because right now the cutoff date by IBBI still remains at 30th June 2019. So my dear friends, it is the best time. Please mark my words. The case laws are also increasing. Right now we have 59 case laws, but they can go up. So this is going to become, the syllabus is becoming tougher day by day. Even the examination pattern is also becoming tougher day by day. That means the first lot, when the IBBI introduced it, it was pretty simple. Later on, the second version became a little tougher. This is the third version which is happening right now. And generally, IBBI changes the syllabus almost after 9 months to 1 year. But because of COVID pandemic, they have not changed it so far. So I think you're pretty lucky. Please join and prepare well. I think this is the best time, because the syllabus is very limited. And I have also mentioned that exam pattern is likely to change. It is actually, from more of the theoretical part, it is becoming more analytical, because a lot of case laws are coming. So it is actually, in that sense, it is becoming very, very tough. So conceptual understanding, of course, is very important. Now, let us look at the eligibility requirement, that who can become, pass the limited insolvency examination. Well, friends, to become an IP, number 1, you must pass the limited insolvency examination. And what is the experience which is required? Number 1 is 10 years as chartered accountant, company secretary, CMA, or advocate. 10 years. And my dear friends, it is not 10 years of certificate of practice. It is 10 years of membership. So if you have been retaining your membership for last 10 years, well, that is good enough. You can become you can actually you can take the limited insolvency examination. But supposing you are not a chartered accountant or a professional, like some bankers are there, or maybe management professionals. So if you have 15 years of experience in management with only bachelor's degree, even then you can also are eligible to pass the limited insolvency examination. So you can take that exam. After you take the exam, you pass this exam, which requires minimum 60%. We'll come to that. There are more slides on this. You have to complete a pre-registration education course. We call it as PREC, which is also happening online nowadays. It is a 50-hour mandatory training. And this is conducted by insolvency professional agencies. Well, that is mandatory, but that is only comes only after you pass the limited insolvency examination. 50-hour means it's almost around 7 days of 7 hours learning every day. But that, of course, one can complete when we are in the lockdown. Let us look at the limited insolvency examination and the syllabus which is there. It is an MCQ based exam. There are no subjective questions. So it is, you will be given 4 choices, A, B, C, D. You have to pick one out of it. But unlike KBC, there is no lifeline, which is there in MCQs. 89 questions are asked, my dear friends. 100 marks are there, 89 questions. And out of 89 questions, the breakup is like this. 78 questions are of 1 mark each. And 11 questions are of 2 marks each. 11 into 2 is equal to 22 and plus 78 is equal to 100. So this is the breakup. Now, what is a 2-mark question? 2-mark questions are generally relating to case laws. There are 5 questions from case laws, which are there. 59 case laws you have to study. So 5 into 2. And then 6 questions are coming as a case analysis, right? Case analysis. That means a case study is given to you, and then 6 questions are asked, and they are also carrying 2 marks. So it's basically kind of analytical ability which they are judging. So it is not only theoretical knowledge, you need to have the analytical knowledge which is there. So you have to score 60% to pass this exam. Looks easier, my dear friends, but there is a negative marking, 25% for each wrong answer. A deduction of 25% happens. This is something which actually brings down many people. And I know many of the participants who get discouraged because they have scored 59.75, 59.5, or in the range of 58 or 59. Well, this is highly disappointing also. This is where you see transitions modules also come into picture, where I am, you see, one of the faculties, and I take you along with all these things, where people get the benefit to know about IBC and other things. Well, of course, this exam can be taken any number of times. You can attempt as much as you wish to. But the fact is, our target should be to pass the exam in the first attempt. And it is not difficult, my dear friends. If you do with a focus study, you take the tips which you see are mentioned, I think it is not difficult to pass this exam in the first attempt. Of course, you will have to go to the center. Right now, the centers are not operating in a full capacity, but they are open with a social distancing. You can go there with all the safeties of masks and everything. And people have been taking exams. You see, even the last 2 months, even the transition programs, a lot of participants have attended. And I would say the Hall of Fame says 80 people have passed the exam, and that too, of course, with a very, very high percentage. So this is the website of transition where you can go and you can look for those kind of things. Well, they call it as Sure Shot IP. In fact, let me also show you a few of the things that what is contained in Sure Shot IP. Well, I am the only faculty there. And there is 12 days, you see, 3, because it is divided into 3 modules. And it is divided into, say, 6 days, then 3 days and 3 days. So total of 12 days, 3 hours per day. And we call it as 36 hours intensive training. Well, insights and the concept clarity, because the focus is on your conceptual clarity. Once you understand the subject deeply, I don't think it is difficult to answer any question. Well, of course, from the chat boxes and other things, people are unmuted, the participant, they can ask any question also. So you are able to clarify most of your doubts. And then I, as a person who has been mentoring the IP aspirants, well, I've created a lot of things because this exam is recalling your memory, because you have to remember and memorize many things. So how to recall, how to memorize. So a lot of tips and a lot of tables are being created for just for your purposes. So these are the three modules, friends. One is, it is called as a signature module, which is six days, 18 hours. I think the timings are also pretty comfortable, 5:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. in the evening, which are very comfortable timings. And then recordings are also available for these lectures for 15 days for this particular module, signature module, so that if you have missed a part of it, maybe you can refer to the lecture again. But of course, please mark my words, these are live classes. So if you hear carefully, I don't think recordings are required, but they are for your, you can say, facility is provided. Well, here the entire IBC rules, regulations, how to study case laws, and some case laws are also done with you, how to study allied laws, one or two allied laws are also done in detail. Then tips are given and how to attempt the exam also. In fact, a live demonstration of the examination is also given, because Transition has created out a live exam, which is similar to IBBI's limited insolvency exam. So you get very comfortable before even you attempt those exams with the IBBI. So this is what exactly is covered. Almost entire syllabus is covered, but they are not covered like allied laws. I mean, it is focused in one or two allied laws, and then how to study allied laws, which is there, because there is a separate module which is available there. So whatever PPTs, whatever charts, tables are there, that is given as a background material. Case law module is also specially designed. In fact, initially it was not there, but a lot of demand came from the people because there are 59 cases. And it is very difficult to memorize those 59 cases. So how to memorize them? What are the keywords? Well, a specially designed module on case laws was made. It is a 3-day, 9-hour intensive training. Again, 5:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. All 59 cases covered. So I do it personally because I've also written a book, Analysis of Cases for Limited Insolvency Examination. So all the cases are covered from that particular book. So 59 cases and they are explained in a very simple format, like a story to you, so that you are able to recall when a question comes in an examination. And with keywords, they are actually explained. And then we have got third module. Transition has got third module, which is known as Allied Laws and Case Study module. Now, this is also a very interesting module because what happens is people were not aware of what is Transfer of Property Act, what is Specific Relief Act, Arbitration Act, Limitation Act. Now, of course, chartered accountants might have read Partnership Act or Sale of Goods Act or Companies Act for that matter. But then these are some new allied laws which are there. So there is a separate module where all allied laws are covered in 3 days' time. And one important aspect, friends, if you look at the name, it says allied laws and case study. Now, case studies are extremely important. So one full day is devoted only to case studies, where complicated 5 case studies are given to the participants, and then they are all solved together so that everyone gets a hang of it, what is expected in IBBI's exam. So again, these are 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. All allied laws cases are covered, and 5 specially designed case studies are given. And they are explained in detail to the participant so that you become an expert the moment you take this. Well, there is I know, you see, there is a super combo plan which is there on Transition's website. You can look at it. Well, you get 2 books free. One of that book, which I already mentioned, Analysis of Cases for Limited Insolvency Examination, 4th edition. Well, friends, this, I'm not saying only this because I've written this book, but this book has actually become one of the best sellers, and it has run out of its print also. It is not available on Amazon. They have all run out. No bookseller is having it. Fortunately, since Transition is the co-publisher, some few copies are available with them. And those who are participants to this exam, so they are given a copy of this book free if you take up the super combo plan. And then, of course, there is another book, which is a practice exam book, where there are 10 practice exam of 89 questions are there. That also you get as a part of this super combo plan. And then this is one of the best part, my dear friends. You get online, you see, full exams free of cost. That is also there. In fact, there are not 3. I am told that there are 5 online full practice exams. So you also get to practice those exams with that. So once you do that, well, that is one of the important things, because you get to know how to prepare for those exams. These are the next batches detailed. Prakhar, would you like to take over and explain what are these? When are these happening? Now, if you can explain to the participants.
Yes, sir. The signature module starts from the 4th of September and will go on till the 9th of September. The signature module covers an exclusive insight and conceptual clarity regarding the insolvency and bankruptcy code, which is the core area for the limited insolvency examination. In the signature module, there are also tips on how to study case laws with complete analysis of 4 cases as per the syllabus of limited insolvency examination. There is also one free transition online practice exam based on the IBBI syllabus. As the faculty himself has told, there will be tips to pass the limited insolvency examination as well, along with the guidance on how to study the allied laws. Secondly, the case study module will be from 12th to 15th of September. In the case study module, we cover a total of 59 cases, which include High Court cases, NCLT cases, NCLAT cases, and Supreme Court cases, and a complete analysis of the entire 59 cases is given by Mr. Ashish Makhija. Thirdly, with respect to allied laws in case study module, which is going to happen on 18th to 20th of September, a complete analysis of all the allied laws as per the syllabus of the limited insolvency examination is undertaken by our faculty, which covers the Constitution, Partnership Act, Contract Act, and other allied laws which are in the syllabus. And along with that, there are 4 case studies which are given to the participants on the last date of the allied laws. That will be on 20th of September. And the participants will be given time to analyze the case studies, and then a question answer session will be taken over as per our faculty on the basis of the answers given by the participants. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so I think Prakhar has given you that these batches, and in fact, they have been designed in such a manner that it is the first 6 days that the entire syllabus is covered. Then we go on to the specifics of case studies after giving you a gap of 2 days. And then it starts with the next 3 days, it goes on. And then again, a gap of 2 days is given, and allied laws and case study module is there. So the total, you see, syllabus is covered in this 12 days of study. Well, if you ask me, some people do ask me, how much time do I require to study? Well, friends, I can say that you require a minimum of 100 hours of study. So that is extremely important. So 100 hours are required for studying this thing. And if you take up these batches or the classes, I think it becomes really much easier for you. And what we can do is now is, Prakhar, we can open up for the questions. If you have any questions on the chat box, or if you have any questions from the participants, you can just let me know. And then we can also unmute Mr. Varun Agarwal or other previous participants so that they can also share their experiences. I think that is also important. People can learn from those people who have already passed the exam recently.
Yes, sir. Varun Agarwal actually wanted to be unmuted. He sent us a text as well, and he's unmuted now.
Yeah.
Can I talk? Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely. Loud and clear.
Sir, first of all, thank you so much. तहे दिल से शुक्रिया सर, आपके classes were superb. Those 30 years which I spent, it was an experience of my lifetime. Okay, let me share my experience for the benefit of all the other participants and for future students who will be a part of sir's class. So I attended the case law module first, which was a 3-day session covering all his 59 case laws. After that, I attended the sure shot model. And it was highly impactful for me. The overall duration of 30 years, it was superb. I would say I have not seen a faculty like this after being a profession, being in the profession, and I myself being a faculty for some subjects in the CA. I have not seen a faculty like him. So only advice to all the participants is, like how sir keeps saying, just don't be greedy for the exam. Go with an open mind. Study the Bar Act very, very carefully. Each and every line, each and every letter. Questions can come from any nook and corner. And of course, when sir is there, sir के सामने बोलना बोले तो सूरज को रोशनी दिखाने जैसा है. So that will be not fair on my part. Make your strategy very simple. Just don't attempt the 100 marks. It is really not worthwhile. take his advices very seriously. Like one of his advices when he started off the classes was just don't be greedy and take that very, very seriously. You can leave about 20 to 25 marks in the exam, and that's what I did. I took up the exam on 21st of August. I attempted for 88 marks and I got 59.25. It was such a, bad time for me, but I came home. I didn't get dejected. I didn't study the entire week, nothing, because I was already prepared. I took it up on 27th, that is last Thursday. I attempted this time for 77 marks, which was 11 marks lesser than the earlier time, but I got 66. So that was my success, ratio over there. I did not attempt the entire this thing. Be thorough in your code, be thorough in your case laws, and I think with Sir's guidance and his classes, I'm sure you'll be able to crack it. Like the classes say, it is a sure shot IP. I am proud to be called a future IP. As of now, I cannot call myself an IP because my enrollment and registration process is on the go. But yeah, I've cleared the exam. Of course, I could not crack 70 like how other sir keeps saying, but I was close to it. I got about 66, which I'm very happy about it. So thank you so much, sir. And I think there is a module where you guide the IPs who are past the IPs, you guide them. So I'm just looking forward for that module now, so that once I register and get my registration, I can attend that module. So really all the best to all the participants. Take his classes very seriously, take his advice very seriously, do the reading of the Bare Act. And I would say don't refer any books, just the Bare Act. Just refer the Bare Act. That's more than sufficient. And his case laws book is awesome. So thank you, sir. This was an opportunity for me. And I really wholeheartedly thank you for guiding me and helping me succeed in this exam. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Varun. In fact, we were not expecting you to be here, so it was a pleasant surprise that you are here, and at least you have shared your experiences. Well, of course, it is your hard work. I am only a catalyst. Actually, I help you in understanding the concepts. So that is my passion and that my focus is. So friends, what he has said is like tips are given. So that is what I have given tips, and he has taken that those tips as very seriously. And in fact, I must tell you, 66 is also a very good score. I mean, people, in fact, the pass percentage, if you go by IBPI standard, it is only 18%. 18% of the people who take the exam pass this exam. So if you are scoring 66 with those kind of tips and the knowledge, well, friends, I think it is absolutely great for that. Okay. Are there any other questions?
Can I be heard?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir. Yes, Mr. Atul Puri.
Yes. Ashiji, my name is Atul Puri. I'm a CA by profession. And I got this invite, and thank you very much. It's an eye-opener. I have a few questions. First of all, what is the way of registering? I have taken the number of Mr. Naveen, which was mentioned on your screen. Okay. Number two, how fast the registration can take place? Because I'm a practicing chartered accountant, so I have certain limitations, and a lot of webinars are also going on. Is there any alternative way of attending the classes? Or I have to be online always?
Okay, Mr. Puri, what I suggest is this. Well, if you see attend those live classes which are convenient time, it's 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. are such which are outside your office domain. I mean, maybe you can take, you see, maybe for all those 6-7 days or 10 days, you can take maybe a leave from the kind of things for that particular time. I suggest that please attend live classes. You be with me, which is quite beneficial. Of course, recordings are also available, are made available for signature module. So if you have not attended any program, say you have missed because of your compulsions, like your professional compulsions or your personal compulsions, well, you can refer to and go back and look at those recordings also.
And I can always come back to you for clarifications.
Oh yes, absolutely. In fact, you will be very happy to know that for our past sessions, Transition actually thought about that, why can't we have kind of a revisionary class or clarify your doubt session? And it was actually done, and almost around 100 participants attended.
Okay.
So you can always, actually, one more aspect, there is a WhatsApp group which is made of the participants. So you can raise your queries on your WhatsApp group, which is answered by other participants. I'm also a part of those groups. So we also answer, Transition also answers. So don't worry. Our target is that you should pass the exams, and we will make sure that till the time you pass the exam, we will be with you.
Okay. Now, after this, when is the next session after 4th? Because I don't think I'll be able to join on the 4th. When is your next session?
Okay. What I suggest is, because this is kind of a rolling, sessions which are there, like 4th to 12, supposing you are not able to attend. Like Varun also mentioned right now that first he attended case laws module. So all are independent modules. Maybe if you're not able
Okay.
to attend 4th to 9th, so you can start from 12th to 15, then 15, then 18 to whatever 21, and then maybe next batch, whenever that comes of signature module, you can attend. So these are kind of rolling modules which
Rolling
are,
on.
yeah,
And
rolling. They're all
you
independent.
see, because I had been since morning from 11 to 1, I had a webinar, the 2 to 4. I in fact left one webinar in between to join this webinar.
Okay.
And what is the fee for the entire course?
Well, I think Mr. Naveen will be in a better position to tell you. Why don't you
Fair,
get in touch
fair.
with him?
I'll call him.
Yeah, yeah. You
And it
call him,
is a
or maybe
pleasure.
on a,
Sorry.
website also. I think the details are posted. But
I have
maybe
taken that
better,
screenshot.
yeah.
I have taken the screenshot. I'll get in touch with him.
And Mr. Puri, what I see is you are quite an experienced chartered accountant. It looks to be. And what I can tell you is this: you may be attending a lot of webinars, no doubt about it. Of course, you have to gain knowledge. Everyone has to keep updated. But this is something which you will definitely be proud of. I'm
Yeah,
telling
of
you,
course, this is going to give me professional qualification.
yeah.
This,
Actually,
this is this is
you
absolutely.
get something substantive out there. That is what
And
I'm trying to tell you. That
you
is
see,
what.
honestly, because verifications and authentications have become a little tricky nowadays.
Right,
For every little case, the court asks you what were the auditors doing.
right.
So I have
Absolutely.
quite a few friends of mine have already left, given up their certificates of practice, and they are either valuers or they are IPs. So I thought that maybe at this age and stage, why get into so much of stress?
Absolutely.
So
No, I
Ashishji,
think
thank you very much. You have been given a lot of encouragement, and I think I am motivated to join.
pleasure is
And
all
as
mine.
you mentioned, sooner the better, because once the syllabus goes up,
Yeah.
then hard work will, not that I mind working hard. In fact, you learn more if the syllabus is bigger, because then you are forced. If it is an option, you can be your discretionary. Generally, you don't use it. But if
But
it
if you have
becomes
the
a
option of
compulsion,
passing, yeah, but if you have the option of passing it now, in fact, the syllabus is not less also right now.
yeah,
But
I can
if it
understand.
becomes much more tougher, then you'll have to put in more effort.
More
That
effort
is
and
what
more
worries
time,
me.
more time,
Yeah.
more time.
So
Thank you.
that. Thank you,
Great.
sir. Thank you for being part of this webinar.
Pleasure in seeing you.
Thank you. Thank you. Prakhar, do we have some other questions?
So Mr. B. Nagesh Babu has a question.
Yes,
He,
yes. Uh, okay. So are you unmuting him or?
yes, sir. I am unmuting Mr. Nagesh.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Tapan Sharma has asked a question. Are the exams being conducted during this pandemic in Mumbai? Yes, Tapan, exams are being conducting everywhere, whether it is Mumbai or Pune or Delhi. Centers are not operating, but what you need to do is once you are ready to take the exam, we will give you 2 email IDs. Send an email to the IBBI, and then they will open the centers even specially for you. So they will book the slot for you. So that is possible. Okay, so that you can do. Yes.
So
Prakhar?
Mr. Nagesh has not been unmuted. I think there is some problem with his network, sir.
Okay, anyway, his questions are already there. So he says, good evening, sir. Could you please give 1 or 2 tips in answering the case laws by taking 1 or 2 cases out of 59 cases so that participants will be eager to know further join the session? Okay, Mr. Nagesh, that's a very good question. See, 1 or 2 tips are very important tips, like even Varun has also mentioned. Number 1, read only bare acts. You do not need any book except that case law book which I've been referring to. So reading from bare acts is extremely important, friends. And secondly, as far as the case laws are concerned, like 59 cases are there. You have to read all the case laws like in the form of a story. Now, if those cases are read in the form of a story, my dear friends, then it does not become difficult to understand those case laws. Like I may take up, you see, one of the, if I have to explain you the law on limitation. Now, the question was whether the Limitation Act applies to IBC or not. There have been very contradictory judgments by NCLTs all over India, plus NCLAT also. When the matter actually went up to Supreme Court, then the matter was actually settled. That is BK Education Services case, which is there. So that got settled, that Limitation Act applies to IBC. This was one of the important aspects. So what I do is, along with you, that I will take you to those case laws, give you as a part of the story, give you the historical background, and then you will understand what was the position before and what happened in Supreme Court. And then you will be able to remember through those keywords. This is extremely important. So many cases are there. Once you come on board, I think it becomes much easier to understand all those case laws which is there. Okay, as far as the batches are concerned, I think that has already been explained. These are rolling kind of modules. Even if you have not attended the signature module, you can attend other modules. And when the next time you see the modules come up, then you can join those. Every month, those batches are happening. Generally, a signature module is done once in a month. So early October, probably, then the next batch will be planned. But it is better if you join as soon as possible, because even the recordings are available with you. Well, that will really help you on those kind of things. Yes, Prakhar, are there any more questions?
No, sir, not right now, sir.
Okay. So, friends, my suggestion to you is that, okay, one more question. Yeah, one more question is there. Hello, sir, I'm a final year law student studying in Symbiosis, Pune. My query is that there is a session for GIP. Okay. Well, Shankar, what we have mentioned as far as the limited insolvency exam is concerned, that you need to have 10 years experience as a lawyer or as a chartered accountant or something. But if you have not attained the age of 28 years, if you are less than 28, IBBI has actually come out with another program which is known as GIP, Graduate Insolvency Program, which is a full-time residential program. And it is being conducted only by Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs, IICA, which is based in Manesar in Haryana. They actually have started batch number 2, because every year their first one batch comes. They have already taken up around 45 to 50 students this year. If you are still below 28, you want to join GIP, that process starts somewhere in December. So you can apply for that, and then the batch starts in around May or June. So then the next batch will start in that time. So you can do that. That's a wonderful opportunity. You will become an expert, and they give you a very intensive training. As a youngster, then you can choose your field of study that you are going to become an insolvency professional. So that is also a good opportunity for the youngsters who have not attained the age of 28. But if you have already attained age of 28, then you need to have minimum 10-year membership as an advocate or as CA, CS, or CMA. So that is there. So please do that. Yes. Okay. Any other participant who has passed limited insolvency examination, so they can tell their story? Okay. I saw a few of them. I think Arindam is also there. Can you unmute Arindam?
Yes.
I think I can see Arindam was there, and earlier, Mr. Mahavir Singh also joined. I don't know whether he's still there. Umakant Mehta is, of course, he was also one of our this thing. Okay, can you unmute Mr. Arindam?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Arindam, if you can hear us, can you unmute yourself also? We are trying to unmute you.
Mr. Arindam is unmuted, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Mr. Arindam, can you hear us? Okay, I don't think he's able to hear. Yeah, okay. Even Mr. Varun also can share. Can you unmute Mr. Varun once again? I think he can share some more aspects.
Yes.
That is important. So hearing from the horse's mouth is also very important. Yes, Varun.
Sir, one of the main success stories for me was if you have a group of say 5 or 6 and do your studies on a particular topic. So like if I study something and someone else studies, when you mix and match, and you get a lot of points from the other participants also. Suppose I'll just share a small example like section 103. Like when a FC or a OC or anybody has to submit their claims, they can do it either through speed post, registered post, or through emails. But there is only one section in the entire code where even the word courier is being used. That the section is 103. So these things don't strike you when you read on your own, probably when you have a group. So like this, some intricate points I got to know when I did a group study. So that was one aspect. And And the questions they ask these days are, sir, from any nook and corner of the code. Like in this attempt, I got a question: who conducts the limited insolvency exam? Whether it is the board or the board through its designated agency. Like that question where we can't even imagine. We'll be concentrating on the number of days or all those aspects, but the simplest of things we will miss out, like the code of conduct for insolvency professionals. I didn't study that in my first attempt. There were two questions, in fact. I did mark it right, but had I studied that, I would have been more confident. So the only thing is, please don't leave even a single letter of the code, regulations, rules, and the case laws. Out of 66, my strategy was simple. I need to get 55 at least in that. And out of the remaining 34, even if I get 15, I'm through to get 70. That was my simple strategy. Or
Yeah,
kuch nahi hai.
absolutely, you are absolutely right, because you see what happens is of course the syllabus is pretty wide, and if you are reading for the first time, obviously it looks to be tougher on the face of it. But Varun is absolutely right. When 2-3 people, like even if you are in a say WhatsApp group, you keep on exchanging your notes, then somebody may point out something which probably you would have missed. So that of course really helps, my dear friends. That is very important. Mr. Sethi is asking a question: which course do you recommend for a CA passed more than 20 years back? Well, if you are asking for a course, like, of course, we are talking about limited insolvency examination, and the program which we are talking is SureShot IP. So if you can join SureShot IP, I think that will be there, because you see, and 20 years is a huge experience. So definitely you will be in a better position to understand, because the maturity level is definitely there. Okay, Mr. Nagesh is asking a question to Varun. Varun, it is to you. First of all, hearty congratulations. Tell us how you attended the questions on IBC and other laws other than case laws. Okay, he's asking about questions on IBC and other laws. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Nagesh, for your wishes. First of all, again, for IBC, I would say read the code, read the regulations, read the rules, and read the case laws. 66 marks out of this. And out of those 59 case laws, 10 marks you can easily score. My strategy again was, out of the 2-mark question, 11 2-mark questions, 22 marks, I was determined to get 20. There lied my success, because I didn't want to take a chance with 1-mark questions. And I read the sir's book twice. Actually, I attended his classes and I read his book twice. So the 59 case laws is stuck in my mind even today. Like right now also, if you ask me, when sir started off with the Limitation Act, it just came that, okay, BK Educational Services. So those 2-mark questions is your trump card. Oh, hukum ka ikka bolte na, that is your trump card. You have to score at least 20 in those 22 marks. If you score that, again, you are through to it. And regarding the other laws, when you attend the classes, sir do provide with the important sections in the other case laws. Of course, I do not cover 100% of the syllabus. Let me not lie. I left a few of the acts, to be really honest. And whatever I studied, yes, I studied 100%. Whatever I left 100%.
That's an honest admission. Okay, I think Mr. Arindam is also unmuted. Yes, Arindam, can you share your experiences also? Again, probably we're not able to hear him.
There's some network connectivity issue with Mr. Arindam, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, friends, I think Mr. Arindam has also passed very recently, and he also had this similar kind of experience to share as Varun has done it. So, friends, I think you have got a fair idea as to how to go about limited insolvency examination. Well, there is a website, transition.com. And Mr. Naveen Khanna is the person to speak to if you wish to join any of those, you can say, the modules which are there. They are very well designed modules just to make sure that you get a conceptual understanding, as Varun also mentioned. And I always tell people that please focus on 2-mark questions. Because if you focus on 2-mark questions, like you are guaranteed to get, say, 20 marks. Now, out of 60, you have already scored 20. So now you have to score 40 marks out of 78 questions. So imagine, I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, this becomes much easier. I mean, to a scale of 8, it becomes easier for you to pass the exam. So that is very, very important. The base is bare acts, everything has to be read in bare acts. That is what it is required. Okay. So, friends, I'll take leave now. Because there are no more questions, Prakhar, over to you.
So Ms. Deepti Gupta had a question. She wanted to know, are there only evening batches for the sessions?
So you can answer that.
So Ms. Deepti, ma'am, we only have evening sessions as our faculty resides in the US as well. So from 5:30 to 8.
No, Prakhar, that is not the idea. Idea is that you see, to have evening sessions it is convenient for the professionals who are working. Like you are busy in your office, so therefore evening timings are convenient. That is why it has been designed. My being in US does not really matter. Does not matter. I mean, I've been, you see, taking up other sessions also. So anyhow, Varun, once you have passed the exam, now you will be attending that you see pre-registration education course, and I'll see you there also, because I'm one of the faculties there. Yeah. Thank you so much, friends. And I think now we can take leave. Over to you, Prakhar, for your closing remarks.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the highly insightful session. I would also like to thank all the participants for being so patient and cooperative throughout the session. A special thanks to Mr. Varun Agarwal for sharing his experience. I'm sure you all have gained immensely from the session, and you are surely feeling confident on the road to becoming an insolvency professional. We at Transition are dedicated to guide you through the path of clearing the limited insolvency examination with utmost ease. Finally, on behalf of Team Transition, I bid you all goodbye and wish you all the very best. Stay safe, stay healthy. Good night.
Thank you.
Thanks.